So the budget's been passed here this evening, which was as expected in the lead-up, meaning Cardiff's top priorities will go ahead. Education has always been a front-runner, as has building Cardiff's reputation as a top livable city.
Well, it's been a long process and obviously a very difficult process. We've seen over £32 million taken out of the council budget this year, over 130 jobs lost. But we've been very clear we would listen to the public. We had that better settlement through from Welsh Government, which really did help us to look again at some of the really tough choices we face. And I'm pleased with the outcome that we've got tonight. It isn't the end of austerity. We know the cuts are due to continue for many, many more years to come under the UK Government programme. But we are determined to try and protect the most vulnerable as best we can as a City Council, and I think this budget goes some way to doing that.
And you mentioned difficult choices. Obviously Councillor McAvoy and Jane Cowan, several of those in there, mentioned that council tax is a big issue. Was that avoidable at all?
Well, when you do set council tax, you have to bear in mind that if you go lower, you lose that income for many years to come, not just in a one-off. We did listen, and we were able to reduce the amount of council tax from a proposed 4.5% to 3.7%. That wasn't the biggest in Wales, it wasn't the lowest, it was somewhere in the middle, and I think that's just about right.
And obviously with the budget being passed now, it means the LDP and the City deal, we're all going to see these coming up in the future. How does that feel for you? That was something you were really championing.
There's some really big projects coming forward now. The Central Square development's tremendously exciting for the city. We want to see big investment in Central Square. We want to see it in our public transport infrastructure, and the City deal is one of those projects that we think will help to accelerate that investment. And I think it's really important for a successful, vibrant city like Cardiff that we are looking not just at 2 or 3 years ahead, but many, many decades to make sure we get that investment now.
And so, Graham, the budget's been passed. You're a key player in forming it. How do you feel?
I'm relieved. It's been a difficult 10 months working this budget through, but I think what we've put together is a package that supports vulnerable people, puts much more money into education than any local authority in Wales. We've reduced council tax a bit. We're not at the highest, we're certainly not the lowest. And the most important thing of all is that we are investing a lot of money into street scene, so potholes and street cleansing in neighbourhoods.
Some of the challenges from councillors like McAvoy were saying that they need to take money more out of the salaries from the top people in the council and put them more into like community projects, things like that. But obviously, when I interviewed you last, you mentioned there were some council job cuts to go more into communities. Did that cover it? Do you think they're reasonable in their asking that question?
No, I don't think Councillor McAvoy has been reasonable at all. He will know, or should know, that we've reviewed our senior management staff, senior management tier 1 group just 18 months ago. We've gone down from 11 to 7 directors, a saving of £650,000. So the salaries are right.
And so what's next for Cardiff Council budget-wise from you?
Next is to get on with the bus station, to be ambitious, to build Eastern High, to build the Western School, get that on the books. So I think the package overall, people are accepting it. When you look at the public consultation, 88% understand that the council is having to save massive amounts of money. £40-odd million last year, £33 million next year. You know, that is staggeringly higher than anywhere else in Wales.
Now the budget has been passed, the next financial year will see city growth with the local development plan and City deal. This is Laura Allen from City Hall for Hello Cardiff.